What's up, my beloved? Y'all, welcome back to Purpose Sisters Joyrides. This is yours truly, Tracy Philippa, and y'all, this is episode number 7. Episode number 7. This is the last episode of season 2, y'all. We are finished with season 2. God has been so good. I've just been blessed with such beautiful guests, and this last guest is no different. I am so excited to talk to this young man. I first met him at my church, right? So we're having a singles event, and if anyone knows anything about a singles event put on by a church, it's like 100 women to 1 man. So he was extremely easy to point out, and I just saw when he walked in the room, like all eyes were like. And he happens to be single. And I haven't gotten a chance to really like sit down with an actual single guy, you know, to like, what are you guys even looking for? How should a woman, like, do you believe in a woman approaching a man? And if so, how should it be done? Like, I really want to know like a godly man's perspective on dating, because I've not gotten that. And like Kev from the Daily Show, like he tried to, talk about it a little bit, but Kev is disqualified because Kev is married. So I want to talk to somebody who's like actually going through this thing, the same time, maybe he's sticking his little pinky toe into the pool and, seeing if it's right, if it's wrong, if he really thinks that the pool is like contaminated the way we think it is. But, I can't wait to have that conversation with him. Just to let you know, Joyrides is sponsored by Johnathan-these Cakes. They are located in Nassau, Bahamas. Their number is 242-431-7216, and they make the best cakes, if I should say so myself. So, let's go. Episode number 7. Yeah, and we are here. You're here. Okay.
Oh. Hello.
Hi.
How you doing?
I am good. Y'all. Now, this is my guest.
Jay, Jonathan, Johnny, whatever works.
What do you prefer?
They all work. I've heard Blake, I've heard Johnny Bravo. It doesn't matter.
Why Blake?
I was at a party, it was a loud place, so I introduced myself to a girl and she heard Blake instead of Jay. So
it's a stuck.
I guess I just rolled. I didn't really correct, I just rolled.
Why?
I didn't feel the need to.
Did you think that you were not gonna see it again anyhow, so it didn't make a difference?
No, I just didn't care.
Clearly.
Yeah, I didn't really care about it.
I would be the one be like, no, it's Tracy. Tina Tracy.
Because they're going to learn anyway.
Like, you're not going to get my name wrong.
No, because if they really care, they're going to learn it the right way.
As time goes on. I guess we hardly ever meet our person at a party anyway, so it doesn't make a difference, I guess. I don't know. That may be,
So
someone
you just drive the whole way around with it? Or you just you park at a certain space?
Yes.
You drive the whole way around?
No.
Oh, well, so you got gas money. You got a good grip of gas money.
God is good.
Mm-hmm.
God is good. So, He gives me a little bit extra to spend.
Okay. To drive your guest around.
So the funny thing is this.
Mm-hmm.
When I first got the instruction to kind of start this up, right?
Mm-hmm.
This was when gas was almost hitting $8 a gallon. So I was like, sir, this seems a bit counterproductive because have you seen the price of gas? But fortunately, I've been able to do it, and it's been good.
It's been successful.
It's really been good. I've been enjoying these conversations. I think I'm on this journey of deepening my faith on this single situation. So as somebody who has been married before, coming back into this has been very, very weird, to say the least. I don't know if I want to use the word exciting. It's just, it's been weird.
Right, that. What do you mean by weird?
Like, number one, I think I'm weird.
Okay.
Because I don't because I don't think I know how to date anymore. And it's me. I think I'm the problem. I think I was expecting
Just to hop back in and just like, the flow with it?
yeah, like, I kind of cute, it shouldn't be a problem, like,
Listen,
but that's actually not the case. It's
more
now,
hard work.
and because I'm not dating the same way as I was, because I wasn't saved before I got married. So now that I have a whole different perspective on dating and what marriage looks like and what purity looks like and all that. So
now.
So now it like brings the picking to this much,
Yes.
and then you have the ones who are they say they love Jesus. they say it. They have titles.
They move different. Yeah.
But they move different.
Yeah.
And they be like, I'm confused.
Well, I've never been married, so I don't have experience in that aspect. For everybody here, I'm young. I'm 24. Don't let the beard fool you. So most of my time when it came to dating was dating in the States, and we all know dating in the States is way different than dating in Nassau because it's just a different culture around it. From my experience, American women are a little bit more forward, a little bit more like, I was sharing this with Tracy earlier, like as a man in Nassau growing up, it was always where I felt like, okay, well, to get a Bahamian girl, I gotta like go jump through hoops. I gotta take out like 3 times a week. I gotta make sure, like stay in connection with the gal, communicating with the gal. I have to, make her know that, hey, you want to be my girlfriend, stuff like that. I went to the States my 11th grade year at high school. It was a huge culture shock because it was none of that. It was immediately touching down, so-and-so over there says she like you, I actually want to start dating. That was my first year in the States. And that wasn't even, at that point, I was always raised in the church, but I didn't really claim it. It was more like a thing where, you go to church with your family, your grandma takes you to church.
Watch me.
Yeah, find it.
Because I felt it. I saw it pop up and I'm like,
oh, Lord,
no, we're not going to do that.
Yeah, but yeah, so my religious faith at that point wasn't as strong, so I didn't really follow those guides or rules. So anyway, fast forward now where I'm trying to, same journey, building up your spiritual walk and stuff like that. I do follow those rules, but I still have my American teaching because I'm just coming back home of, okay, well, if a girl likes me, if a Christian woman likes me, well, she gonna let me know. But that has not been. It's never been the case.
So at the beginning, when I was kind of describing you, I said that when I first noticed you was at a singles event at church, and as soon as you walked in the room, I saw all the eyes like did this, and I was like,
That's crazy. You saw that. I didn't see anything.
You didn't see
Nothing.
So I was like, yeah, oh Lord, poor guy, because this is.
I walked in and seemed like everybody was minding their own business.
We have subtle ways of doing that.
Yeah, I walked in, got something to drink, and I just sat by the registration booth and called it a day.
So like no one.
It was one person, but only because I knew her from high school.
Oh.
So it was a little bit more easier for that. Oh hey Jay, how you doing?
Yeah, because it was familiar.
Yeah.
Ah, boy. So how do you feel? Okay, so you've been on the American scene, and then now you're back home, right? Which do you prefer? Do you prefer a more?
Scene.
What?
It's easier. It's way easy. And that's not to say as a man I shouldn't, go there and find something in my head.
No.
Oh, my fault. I shouldn't go there and find someone, if I find them attractive, I shouldn't make that first step and pursue. But I'm just saying, when it comes to that simplicity of it, if I'm in the gym, or walking by a girl, literally happened to me, girl, tapped my shoulder, didn't say nothing, just tapped my shoulder and walked away. And from there, I'm like, oh, okay, cool, now I know if I want to, I can pursue that. Compared to over here, where it's like, okay, see a girl in the gym, she look nice, all right. I have to make that bold decision. Yeah, she's good enough. She looks good enough for me to actually make that first step. Problem with that is that I've been exposed to so much for so long. I'm always thinking in terms of, okay, I've seen a lot, so I think I'll chill and wait. If that makes sense.
You chilling and waiting on what? For her to say something?
Nah, because I never know what's out there. So I could and once again, being in the States, seeing from New York to Florida, I've seen a lot in terms of the beauty of women. So I'm come back home, I can chill and wait. Okay, I don't gotta approach this one right now. Like I already said, I'm 24, so I got a couple more years.
So it's there's somebody gonna be prettier than her. There's somebody.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So, in that aspect, how does your faith play a part in the whole scenario?
And I think that made it worse too. Because now, like we talked about those rules and guidelines, now I know that, okay, well, dating shouldn't just be dating for anything casual. Dating leads to marriage. So now I'm like, oh, okay, you look good, but am I willing to make you a wife? And if I'm just going off that visual, that first layer, so to speak, I'm like, you look good, but might be a problem. I think I'll go over here and, just relax.
But how would you know, though? Because you're just looking at the person
from a visual standpoint, but at the same time, it's I don't know, I'm weird. I'll see a person, I'll just think, yeah, you look good, but she's mess with people. I'll chill.
So I have, over this last 2 years, I have been intentionally dating myself, right? And no one is going to look at me from first glance when I go and be like, oh, she loves Jesus. She's saved.
That's true. Yeah, that's true, but...
Because I like my little silk dresses. I like, I like to look extremely feminine and beautiful and, sexy, grown and sexy. So it's not like when I walk in the room, I'm wearing the pastor's robe. I'm not, they're not going to be able to tell. So I've had a lot of situations where, most people that come up to you, they're not about that saved life.
Yeah.
And then the thing is, in church, nobody approaching me. Zero.
Really?
Nothing.
Really? In church?
Nothing.
Surprising.
Nothing. The ones who try to approach, they should not be approaching anybody. But, so in church, there's nothing. And then, of course, the places where I like to frequent are not necessarily places of faith. Because so this is my thing. I love to go to restaurants, and I love to sit at the bar. That's my thing. I don't go to clubs or anything like that. But definitely, I'll go to Bahama or something like that, and sit by the bar, get some food, all that stuff. And so I have used that as my way to evangelize.
Ministry is crazy. Ministry goes crazy.
And it's so easy because number one, I'm, like I said, I don't look scary. So like, men would just automatically, have a conversation with me. Women would just automatically they just start talking all their business, and we just having a good time.
It's the bar scene, though.
Yes.
To be friendly.
Yes, and then, the conversation always sparks because I don't drink alcohol.
But you're at the bar.
But I'm at the bar. So as soon as I order that Diet Coke or that mocktail, they're like,
what you doing now?
what's really...
Yeah.
What's your deal? And so that normally starts, beautiful conversations, and it ultimately ends to talking about my relationship with God and how He's done this type of work in my life, which is good. But I have not had any luck in the dating department. There is like a short period, like last year, there are like 2 people that I was interested in, and one lasted 10 whole days.
Oh, you made it to 10? You cracked the 10? The big 10 days.
10 days. And then one was like 1 month.
Jesus.
And so I don't even qualify those as
Yeah, that's too short.
relationships at all. But and I think they traumatized me. So I've not been out with anyone since then. So it's been like a year. Because one of them was a self-proclaimed prophet.
That sounds a little fishy to me.
And the other one, he claimed to, be in church, love God, and all that stuff. But one thing I realized with both of them is that given the chance to sleep with me, they would have done so in a heartbeat. And that's where I had a big issue with that.
Yeah.
Because it's one thing for me to go out there, right, and date someone that I know isn't, as spiritual as I am, and that's fine. Like I almost have a tolerance for that. Because that person does not have like a true revelation of who Christ is yet. And so their life doesn't reflect Him. But now when we talk about, I'm a Christian, I'm in ministry, but then you would just throw all that away for some fun, that's where we have the problem.
Yeah, and I think even being young, being raised here, it was always that teaching, especially going to the Kingsway, like a Bible school. It was always that teaching of, when it comes to being a Christian, one thing you can't do, is have sex before marriage. And growing up, it was always hard for all of us to understand because no one explained why. It was always like, don't do it. Okay, why? God said so, but why did God say so? It's just not right. And plus, I think being in the Bahamas, being any Caribbean island, West Indian island, the culture is really sexualized.
Yes.
So you're telling little kids don't do it, but then when they leave school,
that's all they see.
All they see, especially being a young male, you're influenced by that. And then we had the conversation about this. I got upset. When it comes to men, a natural thing of men is to desire sex. We can't. You might find a chosen few who can control that. God bless their soul. But presented with the opportunity, a lot of men will fail because it's like hardwired to, procreate, reproduce, do that. So, and that's a struggle. I'm going to say the same thing as a man, as a Christian man of, let's say I just so happen to find that right person to approach. And then we have the conversation and stuff like that. And then, let's say she decides to test my faith by saying, hey, do you want to come to bed with me? I can tell you now, right there where I stand. Tell you right there now where I stand. It's going to be a hard a hard task to say no. Just because everything in your body is like lust of flesh. Yeah, like, what are you doing? Yeah, go lay with that guy. What you doing? Worst come to worst, you leave. So I understand that from like a Christian dude's perspective, because it's just like it's a hard thing to fight, that one particular lust. And then like we live in a world where everything is sexualized.
Everything.
So
one of the things that I had to do when I first decided, give this abstinence thing a try, I had to unfollow like 90% of everyone that I was following on my Instagram, women and men alike, and I had to start,
don't
really
click on the
being.
explore page.
But the thing is, I never even knew that Instagram had an explore page. First, like,
What?
I probably just found out like a month ago, like for real, like for real. Like I just, it just never was a thing for me. But I had to really filter like what I was seeing, and I guess that's one of the things that Pastor Mario was like intrigued about, because I knew, like, hold on, I was somebody that struggled with sexual sin. I was someone, you know what I mean? Like, I was just living life, you know what I mean? If you like someone, you like someone, and if it leads there, it leads there, But like now that, I'm trying to, really like live for God, now I have to be so intentional about anyone coming close to me and all that stuff. And I had to make sure that I wasn't like putting myself in those positions. And that's the reason like I haven't watched TV in like 2 years.
Wow.
Like I haven't literally.
Like no TV.
Like I don't watch.
Like when you say TV, you talking about cable, you talking about Netflix, like.
No, I don't watch Netflix. I don't watch cable TV. The only thing I watch is sermons. I literally
It's
only
online,
watch.
yeah.
I literally only watch sermons and like podcasts, which are mostly faith based. But that's not. And I try to explain that that's not necessary for everyone. It's necessary for me because of where I was. And, even with that, it's caused me to, like, one of the things that makes no sense to me, right? It's like a single woman sitting home watching, like, love stories and like Hallmark movies and like Netflix with like extreme sexual scenes. Like for me, I'm like, and why are you doing that? Why? Because it's either number one, you're gonna fall into the arms of somebody you shouldn't, or you're probably gonna end up watching porn or masturbating or something like that. Like you're setting yourself up for danger. And so I've been able to completely avoid all of those things over the last 2 years, and I'm super proud of myself. But even doing all of that, of course I desire a relationship. I would love to be married again and all these things. But now I'm so scared.
Yeah.
I'm like, I am extremely afraid, because I've learned that even now that I'm a believer, it has put a target on my back.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like, no, this is a challenge.
You think so? I can see that.
That literally, I feel like there's a bullseye on my head when it comes to certain men. They're like, let me see.
Thing is, I don't know, because I'm gonna say, I can't speak for older dudes or even dudes in the Bahamas that have been gone for so long, but at least me and my thinking, I used to stay, when I was in the States, I used to stay away from Christian women. Because I never, one of the biggest, I went to a Bible college, so I'm not sure that worked. So one of my biggest pet peeves was I never like seeing couples on campus break up. And then I was cool with the dudes, so I would ask them, hey, so why did you and so break up? Oh, she said that she just talked to God about it, and God sent her a message that said that things weren't gonna work out. So I'm like, I don't I'm more of a person, if you don't like me and you want to separate yourself, stand on your own, like stand on your 2 feet and say, hey, look, I don't think this is going to work out. Go to God, but make that decision. Like, at least tell me, okay, you know, I'm deciding to walk away from you. So that was one of my biggest things of why I never wanted to talk to a Christian woman. It was also a thing of Christian women talk to each other a lot. So it would be with my business, which should be shared around the sisterhood.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, understood. So it was easier to just go outside of that.
Yeah.
It was more comfortable going outside.
Yeah, because
But then that was also not like feeding your spirit either, though.
And a big mistake with that. Because, and even now, like I'm so young with it. I feel like I'm still learning, not just about myself as a man, but like the way women operate, especially in how Christian women operate. So,
sweetie,
yeah,
I was married to somebody that was 16 years older than me. He still ain't figured it out yet.
well, I got a ways to go. Well, at least I'm making that, but
he's gonna be so mad at me.
At least I'm making that for the track.
Yeah, because I don't even think it's an age thing so much. Because for me, I've seen that maturity is not about the age of a person.
Oh yeah.
It's really not.
100%.
I think that's probably why I have like this. so I have a a age limit that I wanna stick in when it comes to love interest, and so I have like 10 years younger and 10 years old.
Not bad.
Like 20 years.
Okay. I'm more of a. Mine's a little bit more.
It should be a little bit more.
That's more versatile. Well, let me sound like I say versatile. I'll either do 2 years younger. That's like that's strict too, and I'll do like 5 years older. I'm 24, so I can make that.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah.
That's good. I just find that, I guess because of my experiences, and being seeing younger guys and seeing older guys, it just depends on that person and it depends on the connection. I've had more of a better connection lately with younger men than older men, which is weird.
That's interesting.
Is
that like you see the younger dudes are just wiser than the older dudes, or is it just like personality-wise, younger dudes just have?
Number one, I think it's probably because I'm looking at them more. I'm just there's probably a lot more of them that I'm seeing. And I just feel like with the older guys, a lot of them is like they always think they're tricking somebody. Like, for real, like I feel like they're tricking me into something. Like, they're extremely manipulative. Like, the ones that I have.
Really?
Yes. Like, when I say extremely manipulative, like 2 weeks ago, Pastor Mario was talking about the dark side of dating, right? And I'm like, I have to go and make a phone call to my therapist because
Triggered.
he triggered me, and I'm like, bruh, this is what I've been experiencing, and it was really, really bad. Like, remember I told you about the two possible opportunities that I had last year. That last one was fit everything, and it was only because I was mature enough to catch what was happening before we really passed that physical boundary, because I knew that if I had passed that with him, my ministry would be done. It would be done.
It's a blessing to be able to do
that.
That's a good catch, and not just to be able to, because this is where I felt is to see the obstacle, to see the red flag, but to then act and like call it out.
Yeah.
That's where I struggled with before my previous relationship, because it was certain things. It was a situation where she was still in communication with the ex.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, okay, well, we all grown. Like, if you say you and your ex, y'all just talking as friends, I'm gonna respect that. But situation happened where it was her birthday coming up, and she wanted to invite me. We didn't start dating, but she wanted to invite me and her ex among her friends to a party. And I was thinking about it like that because I'm like, all right, okay, cool, we all growing. Like, ain't gonna be no problem.
Not grown.
Ain't gonna be no problem. So, come to find out, she told me, or she texted me, she was like, oh, okay, well, my ex is giving me like a hard time about coming up there. I'm like, for what? And he said, look, either I'm coming, or you tell her he coming. So I immediately think, oh, okay, well, it's gonna be an issue. Cause I'm thinking, okay, now I gotta go to the party. I gotta pull bro to the side immediately, like, hey, bro, like, look, you know why I'm here. I'm here to see her and support her.
Mm-hmm.
I know you the ex, but I want to make sure 9 to 9. What's it finna be?
Catch these.
Hey, ain't gonna catch nine, cause I like.
That would have been me.
Listen, how I was raised, we don't really fight fair. We use, I'm gonna bring something across your head. No, because I'm not even gonna let it get to that point where I gave you a chance to sneak me. But all that to be said, if I would have, after that situation, he didn't come to the party, by the way. But in that situation, now I always look back at it and say, oh, I should have like called that out immediately.
Right then.
Because I'm like, why you trying to put me and your former relationship in the same place? Like that don't.
I dealt with that.
Really?
I dealt with that in my marriage, whereas like the ex was always around. They would invite the ex to the family functions.
Right.
They would do all that stuff, and I was like, so when I was freed. When my bail was set.
The bail.
I got out of bail, right? I made a conscious decision to never be that person. And so I established boundaries. So even though we have a son together, we don't call each other unless it's concerning the child. Like it's like, I'm not coming to your family function. Don't call me to be a part of the Secret Santa. I'm not doing any of those things.
It depends so much on the person because she's actually the only Bahamian I've ever dated. And we went to the same high school together and everything like that. And I still see her in the gym. She's a great person. She cool. Hey, Johnny, how you doing? Da, 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 da. I know her family. I see there's no problems. So whenever I hear, that's why with the previous situation, I thought, okay, well, I know in my life, I have an ex who's extremely cool. And, she invited me to, what was it? Yeah, she invited Christmas to her family's house. Just to get food and play. Nothing on the thing of like, we trying to get back together, but my mom was.
Were you dating someone at the time?
No.
Was she dating somebody at the time?
No.
That's acceptable. That's acceptable.
No, but even now, like, and I'm not gonna put a name out there. So no one will know who she is. But even now, like, she's in the gym and she's talking to this one dude, and there's no bad blood or anything. It's even to the point where I went and approached the dude. Hey, yo, look, like, as men, I'm Jay. Pleasure to meet you. Like, I just want to make sure, I'm just a friend. I ain't, dude was cool. He said the same thing. Hey, respectfully. Yeah,
Did anything physical ever happen between you guys?
You mean me and
the ex?
Yeah. Or just like, that's what I'm saying. It just depends on the person's maturity level, just being grown, understanding that, hey, like, we used to be something, but now we can, everything, the separation went well, there's no bad blood, and we can both be grown about it and understand that life goes on, if that makes sense. No?
No.
I don't know, maybe I'm different.
Okay, so see, I've heard this argument before, many times. I've heard guys use that as an excuse to keep in contact with their exes all the time, which is and See, and this is the thing, because I never want to be someone that's policing anyone's movements. That's just not my thing. But from a female perspective, right? I know which one of my exes I can call right now and start something.
We all do.
Right, exactly. And
But
so
at the same time, it's not.
and literally it's like maybe it's probably none of them that would decline an advance if I made it. And so I look at it from that standpoint. Whereas if my current person is still in contact with someone, especially if they've been intimate together, there is still this attachment there. There is still somewhat maybe a love there. There's still a connection there because they haven't severed ties. And so there's always that little gray area that one day I may piss them off. One day we may get in an argument, and good friend over here is like, "Oh, I know how you're feeling. Come, let's get a drink. Come, you want to sit down? Come talk about it." And then all of a sudden, now you're back in each other's bed. Those things happen all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I just.
And it's not like you go in there with that intention to say, okay, this is gonna happen. But when you're there.
So you're thinking that once people become exes, they can't really have any type of communication or at least be in the same private area together?
I think the communication should be limited. For me, I'm territorial. I'll just say that because it isn't any way to like pretty that up. Like I'm extremely territorial, and so for me that would be an issue for me. Because like I said, because I've been there, I've dealt with the disrespect before. I've seen that go all the way left, and so that's just something that I just don't want in my space. Do I want to be telling someone, "Oh, you can't talk to this person"? I feel like that should be something that's already established before you even get with me. Like I honestly like. There's not going to be a time, and this is the reason why, like I set the boundaries with my exes, because. If there's going to be somebody I really see a future with, the last thing that I want that person to ever feel like is there may be something going on with a past situation of mine. Like I want him to come into this new space free of the baggage, free of what is happening here, what is happening there, the baby daddy calling you 10:30 in the night, and you know what I mean? All of those things, they play a big role in how someone is able to trust you. And so I tried to keep that part of my life extremely, extremely clean. Like now that I am completely single, I don't communicate with none of my exes. Like zero. Most of them are blocked.
You block
them? Right? No, some I have to block.
You block them?
I have some of them I have to block because then they don't get it.
The message,
I'm like,
I get that.
Why are you messaging me 11 o'clock in the night?
It's the drunk.
Like,
the drunk thing.
They ain't even drunk. This one particular one doesn't even drink. So he's in his right mind.
Yeah.
Right?
Lonely nights.
That's it.
Lonely nights.
And and what I don't want you to do is catch me on a lonely night. That's the problem. I'm trying to keep myself to myself.
I call it the haunting hours.
Yeah, I'm not into that. I just feel like, the cleaner I keep everything, the easier it is when I have to transition into a relationship. Like I've already dealt with all of that, and so now this person can come in and we have a clean slate and all that stuff.
I like that. I've always been a friendly person, and not to say I don't want to use the word flirty because that's not it. But I've always been the type of person where if I see you as a friend, and it just happens to get to a point where we, let's say, we start dating. But then we revert back to friends, I still see you as a friend. So, and that may sound weird or corny or whatever it is, but if that person like, "Oh, Johnny, I need you to pick me up from so-and-so," or, "Hey, Johnny, I just want to talk and see," like, all right, cool. And I can see from a female perspective, oh, okay, well, she's just looking for, because I've heard this, oh, you don't see it from a female's perspective. She's just trying to look for a way to get back into your life. I'm like, yeah, but as me as a man, if I'm now in a new relationship, it's up to me to have that discipline, self-control, control the flesh, to be able to say, and not be so blinded. Because I think that's another issue I have, like, oh, she just invited me over for, get some food and stuff like that. Nothing gonna happen. And I get there, and then touchy feeling, I'm like, I thought we just eating food. What happened? But I think it's just, it's up to a dude when it comes to interactions with females to have control over yourself. I think, especially a lot of younger dudes, and obviously I'm in that, and I've been working on one of my steps I'm making in my spiritual journey is better control of flesh, control of lust. So same thing like you said with Instagram, because I don't know what it is. I've unfollowed so many different people, but somehow the same content keep popping up. So I'm thinking Instagram must have an agenda out against me in particular, because I don't know why they keep showing me this stuff. I don't want to see it. So yeah, I can. Me personally, I would like to say I can go around. Well, there's only one ex. Why keep in contact? The rest are weird. They said.
they took up the deuces.
Because I'm like, no, because I'm trying to be the person where I think this is where I have my mother's hat, in a sense where we're peacemakers, we're people pleasers and peacemakers. So I'm like, oh, okay, no, things didn't work out, but if you ever need me, have you contact me, Nope, I'm blocked the next day. So I'm like, all right, well, I guess that's how it's gonna be.
Oh, your exes sound a lot like me. I am. And guess what? The thing is, I have nothing against the person. It doesn't even have to be a situation where we end on bad terms. It's just that I have to close that door in order to move on. I'm a very emotional person. And so if I do really, really have feelings for someone, it's gonna take a while for me to kind of, cleanse myself of that. And so that constant communication between that person, it doesn't do me any good.
You don't gotta text me. I'm just saying, I'm here if you need me. That's it. You don't gotta text me next day. You don't gotta text me next
there
month.
when you had me.
You don't gotta text me next year.
Because I know. Last.
No, because I understand that. The reason I say it is because I understand that as people, we go through times where
you don't know
everybody gets depression. Everybody goes through moments where they feel down. And I know I personally have a group of five friends I can call right now. Hey, just want to talk to you. What is this, and that? Two of them from New York, so the response is going to be a little bit more aggressive. But that's sometimes what I need. But most of them, if it's something, hey, I'm not doing the best right now. Oh, Jay, what's going on? Oh, Jay, you need to handle this. Oh, Jay, you need to move like that, because they'll give me that advice. So I know that I would appreciate that. So if a person has a down, depressed moment and they feel like they ain't no one they can call to, I'm like, make a call. Obviously, obviously, I'm that strict boundary of being like, hey, we exes, but hey, are you okay mentally? You good? Alright, cool. Because last thing I want to hear over the news or Instagram is God forbid something happen.
So I'm a bit spoiled in that area. So over the past 2 and some years, I've been somebody who can keep long friendships. Yeah. So I have 1 or 2 girlfriends that, my best friend, we've been best friends from middle school. And I've had some long-term friendships, but when I decided to do this walk of faith, I have met so many women who have become so close to me, who cover me, they pray with me, we do life together. And so I'm spoiled in that area. So I can't even comment on that, because it's I have a support system that is so strong that, you know, for me, it's something that I have to constantly thank God for, because I didn't really have a lot of female friends before. And you know, a lot of us have this misconception, especially like for women, of course. You know, women are this and women are that, and it's too much drama and this is that and all, and it's like that's like the opposite. Like my life is literally the opposite of that. I think it has a lot to do with your energy too. You know, what you put out into the atmosphere,
What
you kind
receive.
of bring it back in. So, Mr. Johnny Blake Bravo.
Yes. All the above.
So, when it comes to what you want in a female, what do you think? What do you want?
A big thing, just going off my previous experiences, a big thing for me is communication, because I've been in a situation where I've been the one doing primarily most of the communication, and it got to a point where I felt like I was over giving my communication, over worrying compared to the other person. Now, granted, with that being said, the other person had her own life to live, graduate. She was going through a master's program, stuff like that. But it would be a situation where I would go to work at 9 in the morning, get off work at 8:30. This person hasn't contacted me.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, I want to be insecure about it. But let me talk to one of my friends about it. Went to one of my friends. He was like, yo, Jay, like, look, me and my girlfriend doing the master's program, and we can still find time to at least communicate with, like, what you're in right now isn't right. So definitely communication is a big thing. And then I have a mentor in the States named James Willard, really great guy, and he told me that when it comes, you ever heard about love languages? Obviously.
I literally have the book like right in the back.
Really? Oh, gee. Yeah. So everybody talks about, obviously for most men, it's physical touch, stuff like that. But he added one. He said, being wanted. And when he said that, I was like, oh, like that's really good, because same thing. With that lack of communication, I didn't feel wanted.
Yeah.
I felt like I'm just chasing this person, and like when I sit back and I'm done chasing, that person wouldn't even turn around to see if I'm still there. So communication, feeling wanted. I feel like, as a guy, that sounds so like weird to say, like feeling wanted, but it's like it is true. Obviously, personally, I've defined the beautiful. And then I just started reading into this in Proverbs, but like finding a woman who's like a helpmate, because you know it's a not communication. It's a thing going around now where it's like, oh, what do you bring to the table, and those types of sayings. I had to separate myself from that type of content, because it is really it's a personalized thing when you pick a partner. It's not just okay, well, as a dude, she gotta be willing to pay half the bills, or she gotta be willing to do this and that. It's like, no, like as a dude, like understanding where you at in your life and finding a partner that can fit that for you. Oh Lord.
This is the thing that scares me is I feel like social media and society has like turned men and women against each other, right?
Yes.
And it's like because honestly, if someone was to ask me what I bring to the table, I'm gonna be like, I don't know. Because to be honest with you, what you need on your table is different from what somebody else needs on their table. You know, what I need, especially someone who has kind of like answered that call of ministry, you know, and I know the vision that God has for me. One of the things that I need is somebody who's grounded in their faith. That is literally the top of my list. you know. I've been in relationships where, you know, we'd do 50-50. I've been in relationships where the man would make more money than me, or vice versa, you know. And I feel like we have literally tried to put a value to a person based on what's in their bank account.
Yep.
And
dating now isn't so much dating to be with a person, it's more dating to get a come up.
And it's and honestly, it makes me feel like in some instances it makes me feel used, and then in some instances it makes me feel insufficient.
It's my mom and stepdad made a good point about it, that it's never, when it comes to 50-50, it's never 50-50. There's always going to be a situation of where, okay, well, right now I'm doing good, so I can cover a little bit more of your burden. Okay, well, I'm down right now, but you know, you can back me up. So I don't, and I'm never, well, let me not say I'm never happy to say this. After my breakup, I found myself, not to say hating women, but to say along the lines of following that type of content, being like, oh yeah, you know, women only just using men for their money, and but I had to take a step back from that. I'm like, same thing like you said, like, yo, all this content is doing is pushing people apart, because it was never, and like, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I haven't been doing my research, but from what I've seen, it's never a solution to the issue. It's never oh, men acting like this. Oh, well, women acting like that. And it's always that constant going back and forth.
So how do we fix this?
No one can answer
Nothing.
that. And even I have to say off Facebook. Facebook is worse. People be fighting all the time on Facebook because one woman, she made a post that said, oh, men really out here thinking they the prize. And then, heck, you know, that's why I love dudes on Facebook, because they quick to battle. So here they in the comment section speaking their piece. And I'm just sitting there reading this. I'm like, what does it matter? Like, what does it really matter? Because I'm like, if you find, I don't even say that right person. If you find a person who's willing to work with you in the situation you are in right now, like, what does it matter? You find her beautiful. She finds you to be a decent partner to be around with. Oh, but from the world's view, like, wait, as long as the world knows that I'm the prize, hey, no, it doesn't really matter. That's another thing too. Dating is more like, instead of being an interior thing, it's more like, oh, well, everybody.
It's superficial.
Yep. Yeah. I don't want to use too much of your time, but quick story. I got in trouble. Okay. I got in trouble Valentine's Day. And I've always been getting in trouble on Valentine's Day. Is most of my breakups happen during Valentine's Day. Because I don't want to boost myself up, but I'm over analytical, for the most part, logical thinking person. So here's my thing. If I cherish you 364 days out of the year, and I miss this one day that happens to be over commercialized and over promoted for consumers to buy stuff, does that mean I don't cherish you? Does it mean I don't make you feel special? When I can literally miss Valentine's Day, 2 days afterwards, say you're on the best date you ever had. Like, so what does it matter? So I've had a lot of pushback on that. And I understand why, but I still get pushback. I still get the same pushback, because I'm like, no, like, you literally went on Instagram, you saw everybody getting flowers and these roses, and, you know, little, the hotel room with the flowers on the floor, the flowers on the bed and stuff like that, and the champagne. But I'm like, I can do that any day of the week, of the month, of the year. Oh, but it's not Valentine's Day, so it doesn't count.
What? Okay, so this is my thing, right? So I am a very, very sentimental person, and I love holidays. But I think the problem is we celebrate Valentine's Day for everybody else except the person we're supposed to be celebrating Valentine's Day with.
Facts.
And I think that's where the problem comes, because it's actually not about not receiving a gift. It's not about us not going to dinner. It's about I didn't have anything to post.
It's not even, And here's why, guys. I gotta stick up for the dudes. Them. It's not a day for men. So I'm like, okay, yeah. Well, I gotta go buy.
Why isn't it a day for men?
It's never. It's not. There's one day out of the year that said there's 2 days, and one isn't even cherished like that. First day is Father's Day. Don't matter if you have a kid or not. Father's Day is a day for men, and the second day is National Men's Day. When is National Men's Day?
I don't know.
Exactly. Exactly. It exists.
But I didn't.
But no one.
I didn't know
celebrates.
when National Women's Day was until it was National Women's Day.
No, the whole world will tell you when National Women's Day is.
They
But when
knew
it
the day
comes
before.
to, listen, if you are a dude, you have Father's Day. Regardless if you have kids or not, you got Father's Day, and you have National Men's Day. When is it? Go look it up. That's the best I can tell you. But yeah, so even same thing is like you talk about that both sides were supposed to be from receiving or feeling that love.
Mm-hmm.
From what I see, it's the dude. The dude went out. He got the girl flowers and he took her to this nice fancy place hotel. Oh, bro,
Why did you do it for me?
Bro, what did you get? A pat in the back. Oh, I got some.
Mm-hmm.
I got some. Thank you, sex.
Some thank you, sex.
Yeah. So.
Hold on, we'll stop right there. Alright, so yeah, we back. Thank you, sex.
Thank you, sex. Yeah, but I mean, as a dude, to each his own what you decide to receive. But in terms of going back to talking about consumerism, that's basically where it lies.
So when we talk about the thank you sex, right? So imagine someone like me who isn't putting on at all. I had this experience the other day. I was at the movies. There was this gentleman. He had a son, and of course, he's a single woman with her son. So he uses that as his excuse to talk to me and everything. So we struck up a little conversation. It was cool, and we exchanged numbers. So when he called me that day, I think, within a few minutes, I knew that this wasn't going anywhere because the conversation just was not my style at all, right? And I told him, I'm a Christian, I'm absent and all these different things. And he's like, so what am I getting out of this? and I was like, oh, what do you mean? He's like, you're going to expect me to pay bills for you. You're going to expect me to do this. You're going to expect me to buy you things and all these stuff. And he's like, so what do I get? And I was like, clearly nothing. So, this may not be a good fit for you.
Cut it off.
So I was like, everything good. So that pissed him off. And so the very next day, he calls me and he's like, I need to ask you a question. I'm like, yeah. He's like, are you gay?
Oh my God.
And I'm like,
yeah, people gotta stop doing that.
I was like, explain, why would you ask me something? He said, because, women don't normally, decline me like that. And,
you heard his
and I'm like, number one, I love men. I think I love men too much.
Heard the poor man.
But it just shows you just how shallow the thinking is, because you didn't even get a chance to know who I was. You know nothing about me. It's like
that speaks more towards the individual, because for him to immediately jump to that leap of oh, okay, well, I'm handling your bills. He ain't paid a bill yet. He ain't come. No bill is paid yet, but he immediately I'll pay the bills, but you gotta. Yeah, but once again, great job on that, because if you pursue things, people like that, it's going to really turn. Because that's one thing where I've seen it, and I've been fortunate enough to stay out of stuff like that, where people, if you don't do your research and you get into with people like that, they'll mess up your whole flow of things, your whole thinking with things, your energy. But yeah, that's funny. Heard the poor man cry. No, because listen, if you're a person who thinks like that, please stop. Just because you went to approach a person, the person declines you, don't immediately just like assume that their sexuality. You don't do that. I'm getting tired of that. You're being out. Hey, you know, hey, you want to drink? I'm good. Oh, you want to dance? No, I'm good. Oh, so what are you out here for? Oh, they're with my friends. What are you talking about? Oh, and they did the same thing. They'll want to back. Hey, I just want to ask. Are you gay? No, I just don't like you.
Exactly. And it's like, I'm trying my best to not do that. So I'm trying to, like, the church way of trying to tell you, everything good, I'm not interested. But now you actually want me to hurt your feelings.
Did the dude profess to be Christian?
No.
I see, he's supposed to immediately just, respectfully, okay, I understand that.
Yeah.
You don't need
but see, the problem is this. We have so many believers, like, I always reference in my pastor, but anyhow, when he had a sermon series called the Christian Atheist, someone who believes in God but lives like he doesn't exist. And so the problem is you have a whole lot of people who profess Christianity but they don't live a Christian life. And so when I come and say, okay, I'm a Christian and I don't do XYZ, they're like, homegirl last week, she's a Christian too, and I was able to.
Yeah.
So, what make you so special?
Actually, follow the rules.
But that is literally,
And I think that's a good point too, because another pet peeve of mine going to a Bible school, I got so upset seeing people proclaim something because I'm weird. So when you tell me you're Christian, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. You say you're Christian, you walk that walk. So in the States, it would be, well, I had friends, I had fellow classmates who were like, oh, I'm Christian, And then at that point, I didn't play with that term because like you say you Christian, you better say you follow Christ, walk that walk. So I would say I would give that funny, spiritual, but a little funny saying, I'm like, it was true to me. Like I know God, I'm studying His Word, but to claim that's a powerful. People have died for claiming that. So they would say, so obviously they claim they're Christian, and they would kind of like hold that above my head, like, I say it, so I'm better than you. But then it's like, okay, you say it, but we be at the same spots.
Doing the same
thing. You can't, well, Christians can't have a drink. You're talking, that's your fifth your fifth drink. At least me, I'm on my second. That's your fifth drink.
Wait, what are we trying to prove?
Yeah, so.
You trying to redo the Lord's Supper? Like, what are you doing?
So I always assumed, when it came to that, I always just said that people, since you were raised by parents who were Christians or parents who went through their own life journeys and then became Christians, then they have kids. As soon as the kids are born, hey, we go straight to church. And we have a thinking of, okay, well, if I take this lead your child up in the way that they shall go. But the problem with that, I've been finding out, is if that child doesn't accept it personally, are you going to explain the value of this to your child? That child ain't going to hold on to that. So you have people saying, oh, I go to church, I'm a Christian. Yeah, but come on now, you with the heathens.
But the thing is, so we grew up in a Christian household, but then Grandma used bibbing every weekend. So, and I am a firm believer of children become what they see.
100%, 200%, yeah.
So, that's something that I've really been intentional when it comes to my son. And so, and it's easy for me to be intentional with that because I'm living it. I'm not actually trying to put on a facade in front of him to make, mommy does this and mommy does that. But that's literally my life. And so it's like we're in the car and he'll literally just start quoting the 23rd Psalm. Nice. Like, literally, like, that's what we do.
That whole, do as I say, but don't do as
no,
that doesn't work.
It's stupid.
And
You didn't do as you say.
And it's like, I don't think, well, I'm not say most parents, but I think a lot of parents don't understand how impressionable children are.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have a little brother named Shahil, and anytime I go to visit my dad, like it's funny to watch, but he's literally just sitting at my dad's feet while I'm talking to my dad, and he's copying my dad's movements. Literally, my dad will talk with his hands, Shahil will be right there.
A sponge.
My dad will say a word, Shahil will be like, oh, he'll say the exact same word.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at that, and I think my dad realizes it, but he's just used to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at that like, oh, you can't mess up.
No.
Or you really have to be on your game, because if he even catches you doing the slightest thing off,
He's gonna
mimic that. So, yeah, don't lead your kids properly. Lead your kids properly, or at least send them amongst people who will lead them properly.
Because I didn't get. I grew up in church. I always tell people I grew up in church. Both my parents were, leaders in church. My mom was a choir director. My dad was a deacon. He was in charge of the youth ministry. He used to preach on all these different things, and I still gone.
It's also.
But then now, at 32, I've come full circle.
Yeah.
So, yes, I may have gone through like a 15 years of insanity. I'm sure. But at the end of the day, there's something that they imparted in me that I was able to hold on to.
Yes.
And then God was able to take that, water that, to make me who I am today.
That's the most important part, because I think we all heard about that stereotype of the strict Christian kid, and as soon as they parent let them out the house, it's different. So I think it is, I'm saying this like I have kids, I don't got kids, but from what I've seen, you gotta let people just live their life.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen parents like, oh, okay, well, I took my child to church and all that, but I have to let them like find their way to faith.
Mm-hmm.
Like the same thing that you said, plant the seed. Now, over time, just have to let it grow.
Mm-hmm.
Can't. It was always weird to me, like, to talk to people who had like strict parents.
Mm-hmm.
Cause I'm like, bro,
My
moment we
parents
go
were
out,
strict, but I was wild, and then they got divorced like when I was like 15 years old. So that was like,
yeah.
but so that was. I remember like I was like 17, and I remember waking up on Prince George Dock because we were short moonshine.
He was living life. I never. I think I'm a little bit. I had a blessing of I never. Like I said, I went to the States on a basketball scholarship in 11th grade.
Mm-hmm.
So I grew up. I did a lot of my growing up in a whole different country around other people, people just different cultures from different countries. So to me, I was able to be around other young men with their own teaching, so I was able to learn from them a little bit better. But I was never. I couldn't be. Oh, my mother would kill me. Jay, where you at? It's 2 a.m. What you mean you passed out back on you? No. It's not happening.
I think at the end of the day, it takes us being intentional and just honest about like where we are.
Yeah.
I was like you asked me what I was looking for in someone, and I told you I don't know.
Yeah.
And I said I don't know, and because I don't trust my picker. Like I
feel that.
I was like, and I'd really like, this is the cause I started this conversation, because I was like, I really don't know what I want. Because no one has asked me that. And I'll be out here talking all kind of relationship advice, like, you know, like what to do, what not to do, what we should be looking for, what we shouldn't be looking for, and what we should be participating in, and all these different things. And then you shoot me with that, and I'm like, oh crap.
Yeah.
Like, so when it comes to me personally, I struggle with thinking that there is this person that is gonna love me, that I'm gonna be attracted to, someone that I'm going to be able to grow in my faith with, someone I could do business with. Like, I want an all-around partner, and I don't want to be put in like, God has helped me to be soft again, right? And in my past relationships, I found myself having to be so masculine because I was a business owner. I had a full-time job. I was a mom. I was handling all of the chores in the house. I was cooking all the time. I was doing all these different things, and I didn't have the opportunity to be soft. I just always had, like when I was building my house, like I was the one talking to the contractors. I was the one doing this and I never want to be put in that position again. But I think sometimes it comes off as if, oh, I just want to be a princess, and that's not it. That's not it. Like, I want to be a partner with you, but I also want to make sure that I have someone that can take the lead. Like, I want someone who's gonna come home and be like, boom, I think this is what we should be doing. And I'm like, okay, baby, how do we make that happen? I want someone that I could follow his lead, because I could trust his judgment, because I know that whatever he decides to do is in the best interest of the family at large, you know? So
that's that. With that, and they came to that point. You made a great point of like, oh well, feeling that you always have to be masculine. When it comes to that, that's like a worldly thing, because I was reading through Proverbs, not to get biblical, but I was reading through Proverbs 31, like the Proverbs women, and it didn't say, oh, she was just a stay-at-home mom, you know. No, it said that right there, like she worked, like she went out, she bought a vineyard. Excuse me if I'm misquoting, but she went out and she was doing stuff. She wasn't just at home, you know, feet up. No, she was out doing work. So when I read that changed my whole conception of the whole masculine and feminine thing, because it's where, okay, that means that I'm not just out here looking for a woman who's gonna be pretty up in the house with me. That means that, no, it's like, while I'm at work handling my business, she making sure things are in place and things are growing. So when I return back home, hey, this is handled. Okay, cool. Now me as a man, being the leader, now I can make decisions to best support my family. But what you said is really powerful, because I always hear, and I was talking to Kelton about this. Sorry, Kelton, for bringing your name up. And I was laughing because I'm part of the small groups, and they asked the one girl, same question: what do you look for in a man? No Christian women. Oh, he gotta be led by God. That way, he could lead me, and I could be in my full femininity. And I've always said that, and I'm like just triggered, because I'm like,
that's a lot of responsibility you put it on.
It's not just that, right? Because it sounds good on paper.
Yeah.
I'm like, and I asked everybody, all the females there, I'm like, yo, if that man came about, would you actually be able to submit yourself to fully let him lead? Because that's not a thing of like, oh, you know, yeah, I'm gonna let him lead when he like, you know, picking dates or planning trips. No, that's like, hey, I was thinking about it, and I think we should use all of our combined income to invest in this, and that's what we're gonna do. What? That's a strong leader, because I'm gonna bring up his name, Pastor Mario. It's a thing of where, when it comes to a strong leader, I always think of him, because it was a thing where everything was going good at church. Oh, we was getting video projects out. Everything is flowing. Here come Pastor Mario. Hey, we doing a TV segment. I'm gonna give y'all till Monday to figure out how we gonna do it. All right, bye. But he explains, hey, I was in my own little sabbatical. I was talking to God, and God led me to start this and take this opportunity. Now, as a team, we gonna figure out how to make this work. There's no if, ands, or but if we gonna do it. There's no how we gonna make this work. So I think when it comes to being a strong leader, being a strong man, it's the same thing of like, okay, well, understand that one, I got that responsibility, and then two, is my woman gonna be able to like submit? That's not, I get it.
I'm okay. See, I'm not triggered by the word submit, so that's fine.
Yeah, I was about to say, I know women get triggered by that.
I am in no way I'm triggered by that, and I think also the ability for us to trust Pastor Mario's leadership is because he has a good track record.
Yes.
And a lot of times I feel like we choose partners based on our emotions, you know what I mean? And not necessarily on you're not really seeing how they operate day to day with their life, with their family, if they have kids, how they have finances. Yeah. And then all of a sudden you want to get married to this person, and then you realize that you can't say nothing. Every single thing you see, you want, and but it's like that's because number one, you didn't have those hard conversations before you got married. That's number one. Because there's a difference between somebody being deceived and then you just being negligent. Because a lot of us are negligent in our pursuit of relationship, and so when it comes to like when a woman says something like, he needs to be led by God, so that
sound good,
but it's like, no, are you watching how he operates in his day-to-day life? Does it look God led? Because it sounds good on paper. He can tell you, yes, I'm a Christian, I love Jesus, but is his life yielding the fruit of that? And it's not, like I said, and it's not so much about like I'm gonna tell on myself, right? Because I was talking to this guy, and he was a Christian, he was a believer and everything. But when I said this guy flat broke, like just flat broke, right? Now, like I say, he loved God, and he's a beautiful person on the inside. But what I noticed was that he would talk about doing things, but he wouldn't put the first penny towards whatever it is. So we had the situation where he was talking about he wanted to like kind of open up like this clothing line or whatever it is, whatever he was doing. He wanted to sell like accessories for suits and stuff like that, because that's what he into, right? They get a bonus from work.
That's it right there.
Right? And he goes and buys $300 headphones. Right? And so then I asked, so I'm like, so where are you going to work on your inventory or whatever? And he's like, okay, so what I'll do is I'll take $100 this month and I'll put it, I'm like, hold on. You had it. Because you could have just got some $50 headphones. And they work pretty just as good. And you could have spent the rest of that money on your inventory. You say you want to start a business. That's what we do. And so when I saw that was a red flag for me, because your priorities are not there. So you talking a big game and you're telling me all these things that you want to do, but you're not moving towards it. I'm the opposite.
Because your business on you off. You have the
because
process,
if Tracy Philippa says I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z, it's going to get done. I have tunnel vision when it comes to things like that. When it comes to my business, when it comes to ministry, whatever it is that I put my mind to, I'm going to make it happen. And that's definitely not to toot my own horn, but I believe you should be people of your word. Now that I'm in this season, in this single season, I want my person to marry the best version of who I can be today. Because the best version of me today may not be the best version of me 10 years from now.
Yeah.
I may have to change. But I want to make sure that I'm the best version of who I am today, so that I can add to that person's life. And and we can't just, say that's financial, because it's not. Like, I've been to that place where you have the new home, you have the marriage, you have the baby, and you should be happy. And I was like the most miserable person that I knew. So everything looked good on paper, but behind the scenes, I was in hell. And so I've learned that, hold on, I won't look at someone or try to put a value on someone based on what their job may be right now, especially as a believer, because I know within my heart, right, that God only needs to make one move
Something could happen
and change your entire situation. But are you really, like Ruth, are you working in the field so that that opportunity could come and present itself to you? Because a lot of us, we're waiting for I'm waiting for my husband, I'm waiting for my wife, I'm waiting for this business, I'm waiting for this, and I'm waiting for that. And it's like, I've learned to walk in my faith to the point where, like the other day, I had a book launch, right? And what people don't know is that, first of all, I wasn't thinking about having a book launch because I was already mad I had to write the book anyhow. So, but God started talking to me about a book launch, and he was like, that book launch is going to be a fusion. And I was like, and who want money for that? Like, who's on that? Anyhow. But God was like, do you trust me? And I'm like, of course I trust you. He said, well, you know what we do. You make the first purchase on something. And literally, I just went on my Amazon cart and I purchased $50 worth of, balloons.
Okay. Balloons.
Right?
Okay.
Balloons. Just purchase balloons, right? And I was like, okay. Then I got the next instruction. He's like, now I need you to go there, anoint your feet. Because see, this is where the spiritual aspect comes from. People, and when I say these things, I know it sounds so weird. But anyhow, he said, anoint your feet. And I want you to go pray over that place. That's where it's going to be, right? I said, okay, I'll do that. And I did that. And then I inquired about the price. And they said they were going to get back to me. And for 2 weeks, I didn't hear anything, right? And I was like, okay. But, the launch is supposed to be this date. So I haven't heard anything. And I've even had people be like, you don't have to do all of that, You could just why don't you just call church and see if they could do something there or whatever. But in my heart, I'm like, hold on. God said it's going to be a fusion. And I'm going to have a book signing the next day after fusion at church, right? But I didn't call anyone. I didn't ask anybody for anything, nothing. 2 weeks later, Fusion calls me and they were like, this is a book launch, right? And I'm like, yeah, it's a book launch. So they're like, okay, we'll do it for $200. I was like, 2,000 or 200 because
it's nice.
What? So she was like, 200. I was like,
get some on a good day.
I was like, you sure? And she's like, is that too much? I'm like, no. I need.
Yeah.
Because at that time we were discussing having it in one of the conference rooms that they have there. So I was like, okay, cool. And so I said, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna pay for it and everything. And I was like, wow, okay. I got the venue. Go to pay. And then they were like, we were talking, we were thinking, we want people to see you, so we're not going to do it in the conference room. We're just doing it in the BDC lounge at the front of the building. So, like, everyone can see you and have your banners and all these different things. And I was like, oh, okay. Okay. So I did that. And then it was like, okay, I needed to buy, like, those big retractable banners, right? And they were like $300 each. And I was like, oh, my God, like, I'm not going to buy 2 of these. I said, God, I'm just going to buy one. So I went on Vistaprint, I designed it, and I bought one. And for some strange reason, when that one was delivered, it was delivered at the wrong location. And I literally cried in my car because I was like, that means I have to buy an next one. And I spent like an hour and a half trying to call Vistaprint and all these different things. And they were like, don't worry about it. We'll just send you a different one. I'm like, okay, no problem. When it came, I picked it up. I said, thank God I have it.
You have one, yeah.
That night, the original one that was lost was delivered. And
I'm like, yeah, you're supposed to have two.
And I'm like, hold on, what in the world? Like, I was like, you say you wanted two, right?
Yeah.
And it happened. It was successful. Pastor came, and then he was like, I want you at the fall services yesterday to promote the book, so you need to go find 4 people to man the book station, so because I want you to have a signing at the church.
Yeah, that's powerful.
And I'm like, so I got my lunch, and I got the signing, and I didn't have to ask for anything.
That's that.
And that is literally, I have so many stories like that, but that's like one of the most recent, biggest things. And so I know that God has the ability to change our situations, to work things out in our good. And I feel like a lot of times we put so much pressure on that person in the relationship. Like, we think they're going to be the reason why we come up. They're going to be the reason why we have a better life. They're going to be the reason, that I'm going to be able to get a new car and a new house and wear the Balenciagas and whatever it is. They feel like they put that pressure on that person, not understanding that your source is from above. And if his children get together, like, you have a double dose of daddy. Like, you understand? It's like, and that's how I've been, trying to look at it. Because as a woman, especially in this society, social media makes us feel like if a man isn't making, first of all, nobody's make 6 figures. But if you look at social media,
everybody gets some, yeah.
They would make you feel like
everybody rents the car. Everybody rents that car.
Everybody got it.
Yeah.
And so when you meet a regular guy who he isn't making all that money, but he's genuine, he's loving, he's respectful, but he doesn't have the money to be carrying you out on a 300 date every week. Now all of a sudden now he's not good enough.
It's time to grow.
And I'm like, first of all, Miss, you wasn't doing that for yourself when you were single. But anyway, that's a different story for a different day. Because I believe this is the reason why I date myself, is because I've gotten myself accustomed to a certain way of living. You know what I mean? Not to say that when someone comes into my life, okay, he has to do this. But I shouldn't be expecting anything out of anyone that I cannot do for myself.
100%, yeah. That's true. And just a bit from a guy's perspective, talking particularly about me, in my head, I have this certain image, visual-wise, of the woman I want. And I had to always check myself about it, because I'm saying, most guys, I want to, for lack of better words, I want a baddie. Because me personally, I'm doing stuff in my life. I'm not a person to really sit back and wait for things to happen, just like yourself. I've always been the person of, okay. It's always weird too. I'll be a person where, okay, I want to go do powerlifting. All right, well, let me start researching powerlifting. Let me go find myself at the gym. And even now I find myself on call to go study something else, go back to school for something else. And I'm currently pursuing that now. But when it comes to the person I see myself with, I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm doing all this for myself, so I deserve, in my head, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get this person. And I had to talk to God, because I'm like, what he has for us and what we want, it rarely matches. Because he ain't gonna send you the body right away. He's gonna send you a person that way y'all both can grow together and come that connection. And then from there, all right, Jay, you've been faithfully done. You put your work, see your face. Now you successful, and here you go. That girl you was talking to for the past couple of years. Oh, she your body. Have fun. So I always have to just pull myself back. Like, why are you trying to find these? And once again, it's IG messing with me. I need just to delete the app at this point. But it's IG messing with me and being like, oh, okay, well, all these other dudes out here dating these nice looking women.
Mm-hmm.
But what they ain't telling you is, besides from appearance wise, boring.
Yeah.
And
it's just air.
yeah, and then I'm like, and I always feel bad because I meet really good people, like great personalities and stuff like that. But in my head of what I think I deserve, they don't match it. So I'm like, you know, you're really the bad they looking for. So I'm just, you know, we can be friendly. Like, I catch you later. But then I always get called back to like, and maybe it's God, maybe it's my internal conscience. Like, what you doing?
Mm-hmm.
What you mean what I'm doing? You just passed up on something good. No, but it wasn't what I want. No, but how you going? Because I know same thing. Like, I would expect a woman to be able to understand. Look, you're 24 years old. You ain't even touched 28 yet.
Mm-hmm.
Give you time to grow. Like, give me time to grow as a person,
Mm-hmm.
not just from a financial, but from like a mental aspect.
Mm-hmm.
So why I can't exchange that same blessing to the person?
You know, if you go to the gym, you work out or whatever, you know, she may not be on that run yet, but she has all of the qualities that you could want in a wife, and that's something that you can cultivate in her.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's already a passion of yours, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, babe, come jogging with me today. Come do this with me. Come work out with me. Because I feel like we want, a lot of us, we want like this already made package. And
we ain't ready for it.
yeah, God is like, no, I'm gonna give you a work in progress. The same way you're working in progress, you know. But I think a lot of us, we miss out on like you say, like really, really good, genuine connections, because the package doesn't really match what we have already put place in our head. You know, I don't believe that God is going to give you Shrek. You know, like
I hope not.
I don't.
Yeah, you know, God got a sense of humor sometimes. You gotta humble you real quick before I say you the real thing.
I'm hoping that that's not the case, but then at the same time, it's like, and what if he does?
Yeah. What? To work through it.
What if he?
I think so. What I've been doing, or what I've been trying to do, I've been using, because I know when it comes to me, I think not just me, but all men are very visual creatures. But I know that what I find attractive is what everybody else finds attractive. But there are certain people in my life who I really respect, to the point where, okay, well, you can make that call not respected. One of them persons being my father, and I have a close friend who lives here. And like, if he says, okay, well, Jay, what was that? Like, what do you mean? Like, bro, why would you even associate yourself with that female? So it was where, and then it came to the point where my own father, he was like, yeah, Jay, I'm not gonna lie to you, but since you're being honest, that last one you was dating, I don't know what you was thinking. And that hurt me because I'm like, at the time he told me she was beautiful. He was like, I was just trying, you know, he was already in it, so I was just trying to make sure, you know, he was kept strong. So those are certain people I have to make sure that, because I want to, it's going to sound really bad. I want to trust God, but at the same time, I got to make sure I'm not like dropping below a certain barrier. Because I just can't, it's going to sound bad too. I just don't like seeing, like, when it comes to me, I always appreciate men who can like hold a certain status of, okay, well, physically take care of yourself, financially take care of yourself, mentally capable, and spiritually, you know, you're wise. I get so upset when I be seeing these brothers. I'm like, bro, what's that on your side? What's that by your side? No. Because I don't like to eat your own.
Is it just from a physical standpoint, or it's like, like?
No, I mean, I guess it's mainly from a physical standpoint, but it's also in the status. I'm like, yo, Because a certain man, as soon as they walk in the room, they demand attention.
Mm-hmm.
So if you demand attention, and we all like, as soon as you walk in, we're like, oh, that's bro. And we're like, who's that with bro? Ew, what's... Bro, you couldn't wait. I understand, like, the haunting hour.
But maybe,
oh,
Jesus.
No.
Maybe Miss Thang is the reason why Mr. Thang is where he is.
I'm working on accepting that.
Oh my God. Okay, so I believe that we should definitely be physically attracted to the person that that we end up with, because of you. I mean, that's just a thing. You can't really avoid that, because that's going to cause a whole lot more problems in the marriage as time goes on. But like we say, that can't be the only factor. You know what I mean? And I think when it comes to dating, I feel like if everyone attempted to make sure that they were the ideal partner, then you wouldn't have that issue. Mm-hmm. Because for me, I hate working out.
Really? But you always at the gym.
Okay. So, I hate working out. But, like you said, if I want a certain type of man, I can't be out here eating Burger King every day, or eating McDonald's Mighty Wings every day, and then I want someone with a 6-pack and nice arms and dapper, looking like a snack, and I looking like
the Mighty Wings.
The Mighty Wings from McDonald's, and so it's not that I'm going to the gym because I'm looking for somebody, but I'm going to the gym because I want to be the best version of myself. So that person doesn't really have to. Oh, I got too much work to do. Mm-hmm. I can see the potential.
Yeah, it's already ready.
I can see what's going on there. It's. I feel like all of us should have that in mind. Like, I know that I'll make a good wife at some point. You know what I mean? I know that I'm working towards myself. I'm trying to build a business. I'm trying to, get myself together spiritually. I'm doing everything in my power, like I said, to be the best version of myself, so that I don't get put in a situation where I have to settle for anything that is beneath me when it comes. You have women like, oh Lord, my biological clock ticking, so I guess go pick up any. I'm like, no, baby.
Playing games with your life.
Like, no. I made up in my mind. And, I know this is not my portion, amen. Mm-hmm. But I made up in my mind, like, God, if I ever have to repeat the cycle that I was in before, I'd just rather stay single for the rest of my life. Like, because I've already come to this point where, like, this right now is very, very short. It's a short space of time compared to eternity.
Yeah.
And, a lot of us, we're thinking in the now, what we want now, this instant gratification, but for me, it's so long term, because anything that's going to restrict me from really allowing God to do whatever He wants to do through me, I don't want it. So if a relationship is going to cause that, I don't want it. I'd rather be at this place where I am. But
it's not even just that. It's just, and coming from being in a relationship where, I mean, you're in a relationship, you're with a person who starting off made you happy. But I think it's where whenever we break up with a person or we're in the single phase, you always look back to the good old times. Oh, we used to be doing this and doing that. Mm-hmm. But you seldomly think about the times when this person had you crying because you was like, this person actually cared about me. Like, we don't think about, we always remember, like, the reasons why we were in the relationship, but never why we left the relationship. So, in this moment of being single, like, same thing, I go out. But just dating yourself and trying to first understand that, are you happy with who you are? And can you, like, before that person comes to you, can you be comfortable with who you are? Because that's where I made my mistake, where I went from breaking up, like, coming out of, like, really bad relationship. It was bad to the point, you know, after you break up with somebody, you go through like a little sad period. Oh, you know, I feel bad. Broke up with that person, I was the happiest person on earth. What? It was no, transition.
It was like grieving.
One day, broken up. Next day, talking to a friend. Let's go, man. What we gonna do? But then I went from that. I didn't build my confidence. It was just more like, oh, I got that weight off my back, but you know, but you still have to build yourself and be comfortable with who you are. And I went from that straight into another relationship where my identity was this person. Because I told myself, okay, my last relationship didn't work because I wasn't trying, which I wasn't. So I go on to this one, like, okay, I'm actually trying. Okay, so I'm gonna make sure I'm buying the gifts, doing all this. She lived about an hour 30 from me, so I'm like, every single weekend I'm gonna drive that, go see her. Did all that, but I got to the point where, like I said, I'm chasing this person. Chasing this person, trying to show this person, hey, yo, look, I am here for you. Like, you know, let's do something. You are the one. And I sat back down, that person wouldn't even turn, you know, acknowledge me, or give me my acknowledgement. So right now, I think one of my friends called it out because I was talking to him because we were out, and I'm like, yo, I feel really good about myself. And I was like, going. And I was never a person where I would ever like go approach people. When I was in the States, hey, how you doing? Oh, nice to meet you. I don't buy people drinks, but hey, how you doing? Everything all right? All right, cool. Just wanted to meet you. How you doing? And I was talking to my friend, like, bro, I've never been like this. He was like, bro, you have to understand that you found your confidence. So now as you found your confidence, you flowing. In it. So I'm like, oh, great. So summarizing that, now that like I'm single, the main priority for me has been, I think for everybody, once you're coming from a relationship, is to build yourself up to where, okay, well, now when that right person comes, I'm ready for it.
One of my rules about when I date myself, I talked about it on a previous episode, and is that when I'm getting ready to go out, I ask myself 3 things. It's like, am I going out because I'm bored? Am I going out because I'm just hungry? Or am I going out because I'm lonely? Because if it's the third one, I literally get undressed and stay home. Because I know that in that mental state, that energy attracts a different type. I'm going to be prey in this moment. And so if I find myself feeling like that, I don't even go out. And that's just something that I had to, you know, learn to be aware of. Because there are times when I go out and I feeling myself and I looking beautiful and I just, how are you doing? And I'm not looking for a particular person at all. But there are times, of course, it's been 2 years, and you know, and been happening and all these different things. So there are times when I'm gonna feel like I miss having my person.
I'm so happy you said that. That's you, because I thought it was just me who did that. Because I would tell my friends before we went out, hey yo, like we ain't going out here to hunt. We going out here because we all want to spend time with each other. We all have a good time. Because I get so upset whenever I hear about dudes fighting in the club, or like dudes fighting over girls in the club and stuff like that. Because I'm like, bro, like, what y'all out there for? Because if y'all out there, because it just messes up everything. Because then you have people who come there, drink, have a good time, but you come here for dudes who like, oh, we out here to hunt. So I'm like, the 2 can't mix. 2 cannot mix. And same thing when it comes to women being mixed in that too, because like you said, you have women who come there to have a good time, and you have women coming to hunt. Now, obviously, it's not really a designated place for people to kind of set those rules. But because I understand what females say when y'all run into, and we talked about this, when y'all have those dudes approach you, just don't get the message, like leave you alone. Because I've seen it, and it was really weird to see. But also at the same time, from a male perspective, I understand how it's hard to determine it.
Yeah.
Because then, like you say, visual creatures. So you see women out here looking beautiful, stuff like that. Oh, okay, well, she out there looking beautiful. You know, she out with a few of her friends, but she must be out here looking for somebody. Let me introduce myself. Oh, I just out here to dance. Oh, my fault. And I always. Go ahead.
I think so. I am definitely. I agree. Like we are, and when it comes to, I used to be one of those. Like I used to go carnival vet and stuff all the time, right?
I couldn't go with that.
So I used to do all that, and of course in those type of environments, you looking for somebody to come wind up on the back of you. Like that, literally, that's what happens. Even if that's not what you came there for, that's gonna happen. And I feel like a lot of women have to understand the environment that you place yourself in is an invitation in itself.
Yep.
So if you don't want someone to, to push up on you or whatever it is, and you really have to, where am I? Where am I? What do people who normally hang out in these environments do? Because you can't be in there. Well, you won't be bad and bougie, but then you
be by yourself.
You in a place where people just come. They come right up on you, do all these things. Like, and you kind of looking for that. So that's why I don't frequent those type of places, because that ain't what I into. I'm a conversationalist, so I'm somebody. That's why I like the bar, because I can go there, sit down, we talking, we having a good time. That's my comfort zone. You know what I mean? But then also, like, even if you want to decline someone, there's a really nice way that you can do that. But like I say, if you are in a place where people are having 4 and 5 drinks, and they ain't ever not.
It's also a thing where I always try my best to understand both sides, because like how we talked earlier about, men will argue, women will argue, but no answers being given. I've been trying to understand both sides. So I understand when girls be saying, oh, this dude just doesn't get the message, he won't leave me alone. But from a male's perspective, and for all the female views, you have to understand this. Typically the men who approach you are those bold personalities, are those they ain't gonna really take no for an answer. They hear they gonna keep your door-to-door salesman, as I would call them. Most men, after you've been rejected once, you ain't doing that again. Or you ain't doing that as frequently. So you'll sit back, you'll see a fine girl, but if she don't give you even if she don't give you a clear tell sign of hey, come approach me, you just gonna chill. So whenever I hear these stories about, why do the men who approach, why are they so weird? Why are they so all men they're no, you just happen to run into the 15% who just got that bold red personality.
Yeah.
And I always laugh because I used to see it so much. And I was a little bit of a troublemaker, because I would always encourage you to talk to girls, because I understood girls still want men to approach them. But I would kind of do it in the blind way, not kind of paying attention to the girl. If I saw a guy if you in the middle of the club watching the girl for 10, 15 minutes straight, I walk up, hey bro, what we doing? What you mean? I'm just saying, you've been staring, because they be this close to the girl watching her. Bro, what we doing, bro? Because at this point you're just creepy. You creepy.
She done there.
I understand you in the type that you're trying to figure out the best catchphrase in your head to break the ice. Just go say hi. And he you think it works? She looks like she could turn me down. I'm bro, just go say hi. Granted, the girl turned him down, but at least you ain't just standing there being creepy.
Because now I'm about to get my mace.
Yeah, exactly. Because you act like we can't see you. Bro, you big and bad. You got a bright colored shirt on. I can clearly see you.
Oh my gosh.
So I've been trying to, my way of fixing that problem has been trying to get the quote unquote good guys, who are willing to take it, who've dealt with rejection before, get them comfortable. And I need to drink my own medicine. But get them comfortable with approaching a woman. It's like, hey, okay, cool. All right, no problem. I don't care. I was trying to like stop the weird dudes. Like, bro, what you doing? Oh, yeah, nah, bro. Like, I'm gonna get a number, bro. She told you no twice.
Yeah.
Any more times? Security's right there, bro. You gonna get kicked out of here.
So you asked me. we were having a conversation in the office, right? And I said something that was not true. When I was like, I'm not afraid of rejection.
You're all afraid. No,
And then I sat down and I thought about it, right?
Rejection. What?
And I was like, I've never approached a dude before.
You hurt.
And I'm like, is the reason that I don't do that is because I'm afraid of rejection. And I was like,
You afraid? We all afraid of rejection.
I am.
Yeah. But the good part, like we was talking about, from my experience, if you do that work of dating yourself, being comfortable with yourself, you ain't gotta worry about that. Most of the time, the dudes who be getting butthurt, and like I said, I got like 5 sisters. I've heard those stories of like dudes like putting their hands on women who reject them, like weird stuff like that. I'm like, all them dudes just insecure about themselves. They're really insecure about themselves because I know right now if I'm out and about, if I'm at let me not say the gym. If I'm at the gym and I go to approach somebody, oh, how you doing? You know, just want to introduce myself. What's your name? Oh, well, sorry, I'm not interested. Okay, cool. Have a good day. Because for me, I've put in the work where I know her rejecting me doesn't make me less of who I am. Hey, like, not to be proud of both, I know I'm handsome. I know I got a good head on my shoulders. I know I'm going places.
Yeah.
This one person telling they rejected me isn't going to cut off my blessings from this world.
That's true.
But you have dudes, I'm gonna call the men, who haven't done that work. It's just been like their main priority since they were in high school, is a high school mindset, has been to chase women. So their identity is women.
Yeah.
Being able to get women. So if they get rejected by one girl, their whole world fall apart. Oh, if I can't get a girl, what will the guys think? Who am I as a man? I'm supposed to be able to. And then that's you get them weird dudes. So I'm like, you just gotta just work on yourself.
I had to, when I talk to my girls and when I lead starting point or when I talk in singles groups and stuff like that, one of the things I try to emphasize is the fact that we were literally made for one person. There are billions of people in the world. You're only trying
Good luck.
to find one.
person.
And the funny thing is I'm telling them this, but I don't really have like no experience in even trying to go out there and be like, hi, my name is Tracy. How are you? Because
You might scare somebody doing that.
what?
Just being that forward.
Hi, my name is Tracy.
You scare somebody. You scare me.
What? Okay, so
Cause it's
what am I supposed to do?
you can do that, and it's just me. It's not even just me. Like that overly forward approach. Hi, how are you doing? Like it. As a guy, it's kind of like a weird turn off. I'm like, are you so forward?
Okay.
Like, why are you so like?
So hence the reason why
It makes you feel what's the word? It makes you seem desperate. An overly forward approach. That's why I always appreciate the slight little budge or my friend, she said that she thinks you're cute. Okay, where she's at? Okay, from now I can take it over from here. Like. Don't get me wrong.
So you rather someone slap you in the gym, and you think
Because now I'm like, okay, now as a dude, now it's my time to make a decision of okay, now
rather I'm going to.
But if you just run up on me, hey, how you doing? What's your name? And that's the right way. It's the right and wrong way to do it. Obviously, I think the way you're describing is more like tone down. You're friendly. Like, hey, nice to meet you. I just noticed you from across the gym. I just wanted to introduce myself. I run into people who they let you run up in your face, and they just in your personal space, just trying to convince you of why you should just like start dating them or be with them. That's a little bit too far forward.
I get stares in the gym. I would have, one or two. They'll try to spot you,
Oh, yeah, that's what they doing now.
Yeah, they'll do that kind of stuff, but nothing comes out of it. Like, or just like how like my Facebook messages. Like when I say they are horrendous. Like if that's any indication of how the dating pool looks, it's horrible. Literally, it's just like hi, 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 and I'm like, So, first of all, I feel like I have enough.
Eyes.
But I think I have enough social media presence to kind of get a gist of my personality.
Yeah.
And so I feel like a lot of times people don't take the time to even study you just a tiny bit. Like, hold on, this lady, okay, she's a business owner, she's in ministry, she's all that, whatever. I have a bunch of videos out there, so you kind of see my personality. I'm funny, I'm this, I'm that. I should know not to approach this woman with hi.
No, but see, with that, you ain't even, as a dude, you think about all that. You think about, well, let me go, sound back. Girls do that. Oh, let me study his IG, let me see who he follow. When it comes to a guy, you're just trying to build up the confidence to get that high out. So when it's online, man, you're just thinking, man, I would like to, to meet up, but man, I'm just so shy. Like, what? Oh, what? Let me just say hi. Hi. I'm a little bit more. After a hi,
and
I'll be like, yeah, because the hi ain't nothing to it. So I'll be like, hi. At least introduce myself and be like, well, I know you want to go for lunch or something like that. Because I've learned from that.
Exactly.
Well, at the same time, you gotta understand that's what, like we were talking about, rejection is hard. So you thinking, as a dude, you thinking, man, if I say anything corny right now, this gal could reject me like a hurt. Man, let me just start hi and go from there. Approach that gal, say hi, and she's looking back at you like, hi, and
my name is.
And you just happy that you.
My intention.
Yeah.
Like,
you ain't getting the attention. You just getting the hi, nice to meet you.
But even if I got the hi, nice to meet you, my name is so and so, I would be more inclined to answer that than just hi. Because literally, that's all.
Hi, listen. Hi. Once you get that, as a dude, if you can get that hi out, you just feel good about yourself. Because you in your head battling, I shouldn't even.
First of all, I think you need to have your face passport need to be a certain in a certain way.
All you do is be confident.
To be able to think that you could just send that hi and then somebody's gonna respond to you.
That's why you getting the hi, because they just trying to shoot their shot. They ain't because they know their face passport ain't the best. So it's like, man, let me just throw a shot. Hopefully, if it hit, it hit. If it don't.
The funny thing is, I'm a millennial, right? And I grew up in that era of being introduced to social media, all these different things. But I'm still an in-person kind of girl. Like
it's the best way.
I'm just not interested in the online dating scene. I've been on Tinder, and I left Tinder when there was this young guy I was talking to, and he asked me what was my favorite hot sauce, right? And I knew right then and there that I was talking to a child.
Yes.
And I was like, you know what?
Easily.
Done. Just done. All right. So this is the wrap up. What advice did you have for us? Like, what advice can you give to us females who are you know, looking for a godly man, a lasting relationship, we're thinking about marriage. What kind of advice would you give us?
First thing I would say is be aware of your surroundings and be aware of your hunting grounds. You are not going to find that godly one to be with you for all your life, man, in your local club. Like, if it's a, I just get tired of hearing it. Oh, I thought he was, well, where'd you meet him? Oh, we met at the club. Because you're in an environment where the primary thing is a visual, like a secular thing.
Yeah.
So one would be pay attention to where you're at. And I don't mean that doesn't mean you're gonna find them at the church.
Mm-hmm.
But just know that some areas are more likely to produce godly Christian men compared to others. Second thing would be, like we talked about, doing that work in yourself first. Because, okay, you found that godly man, but if he senses in you something that he doesn't like, or say something that isn't Christian or godly,
Mm-hmm.
okay, well now you don't meet his requirements
Mm-hmm.
of a wife. So now you just lost the one you were looking for. And third, I would just say, to make it easier, give a little telltale sign to say you like him. It doesn't help finding the godly man wherever it may be, and just staring at him. I don't know why females think that little. Oh, I gave him the look. You looked at that man for 2 seconds and turned your head. It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
It doesn't?
No, dudes don't.
Oops.
We don't even pay attention to that. So if you find that godly man and you want to kind of ease him on to noticing you, like, I don't know what would be a better sign. I'm more of a, if you gotta nudge me, go ahead nudge me. I don't care. But some dudes, it can just be walking past them. Oh, I like your shoes or whatever weird stuff people be saying, or just making acknowledgement of his existence. Cause as a guy, when you walk into a certain building, like you said, I walked into the church. I walked in, everybody was doing their own thing. I didn't know no one was looking at me. I'm thinking, oh, everybody came here, clicked up, they in their cliques, they doing their thing. Now if I would have walked in and I would have seen, like, maybe if I would have caught some long stares, oh yeah, they in here watching me. Let me at least go talk to somebody. But those would be my 3.
So we have to approach subtly.
Make it a game, man. The game is fun. It's a game for a reason. The game is fun. But if the other person don't know, the game can't begin.
But you did. You said some really, really good advice. Number one, we really should be, number one, living that standard that we have set for the other person. And it should not be something that you are attempting to do once you're in a relationship, but should be something that you're living even while you're single, so that when you go into that transition, it's gonna be easy.
Easier transition, yep.
And work on just being the best version of yourself. I'm gonna work on my approach. Maybe I don't.
It's easier for the women than the men.
I don't see it.
It's what?
I don't see it.
No, because at least in my experience, when it comes to rejection, no dude is gonna, like, unless he, like, really ain't feeling you, he's at least gonna hold a conversation and get your number or exchange numbers, and y'all go from there.
I don't even want you to get my number if you don't like me.
No, but from there he'll, like, oh, I wasn't feeling like that. I won't even, like, talk to her like that. At least you'll get that compared to a dude where you approach a girl, you get that hard rejection of, ew. You think you're gonna, like, at least that's what I think. It might, like, that's what I've seen.
I think men have done this thing where, like you're saying, it's almost like you try to let them down easy.
Mm-hmm.
The problem I have with that is sometimes that is prolonged.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I'd rather you let me down within that first day or 2, instead of me thinking that there's hope for something and then it's been 6 weeks and it's been 6 months.
Yeah.
And for sure in your heart, like, I'm not the one. And I feel like we have to always be intentional and mindful that this person has a heart, and this person has feelings. This person has people that love them. You know, it's like we have to be mindful of not intentionally hurting people, or when we realize that something is not gonna go, you know, when we're not gonna match together, we're not a good fit, then ending it quickly is always better than allowing it to prolong over a period of time.
I agree.
You gave me too much to think about. Like too much. Like I thought that this conversation was going to give me a little bit more clarity, but what it has made me, it made me question how I operate. It made me question now, like, girl, you actually do struggle with rejection, because I think that's something that we don't want to admit. You know, we always want to be like, you know, I'm confident, you know, I love who I am, and yes, I love who I am, and I know, but the thought of the person that you feeling saying, you know, you want it from me. Like, honestly, I feel like that's something that would pierce the heart, and I've been avoiding that. Honestly, I've been avoiding that, and so even if I see someone that I find attracted, it's I don't really say anything, and I'm a friendly person, so the same, like, there'll be 10 people in the room, and there's gonna be one person that I really, really like, and all 10 of them can think I like them. because there's not a distinction in my personality, and I think that's something I need to actually work on. Either I need to dial down the friendliness with everybody else and then be regular friendly with the person I like, or I have to amp up, you know, and be like a little bit more intentional about, you know, the attention that I, you know. But then, you know, I'm like,
yeah, that's gonna be a difficult one, because even I've been told, I don't see it, but people have told me that I give off like a flirty or over flirty, just like aura. And I'm like, what?
Well, I did not get that at all, but...
This is from people in the States. So I live it more.
You tone it down now.
I got to. But, yeah, so it would be where, because I was always a person where, if I see a person I know, they female, oh, what's up going on? Hug. Oh, you know, hey, what's up? How you doing? Hug. And my thing was that I wasn't like a regular. I was a hug, pick you up, because I was always the bigger person. So I'm going around campus, I'm going around situations, and I'll hug,
females.
Hug, pick up. Oh, how you doing, little one? You
know,
and they be like, Jay, what you doing? Hey, what you mean? Ain't you talking to someone right now? Yeah, but what's up? Why are you hugging these females like that? Cause I can. Ain't nothing, no harm, no foul. No, but you picking them, you hugging them like that, they could think something. Yeah, but whatever they thinking ain't what it is. No, Jay, you can't. That's flirty. You can't do that.
I mean, you grabbing this woman, hugging her soul out of her, and then you can be like,
put it down.
I don't like you. Like that.
I wouldn't say I would like hug, pick up, put down. Oh, what's going on, friend? I'll catch you later. Have fun. Have fun in class. Have fun wherever you're going. Because I just don't think of it as that's flirty. I think of it as, like, you know, we friends. I'm being jokey. Like, because I'm a bigger person, you a shorter person, so pick you up, put you back down.
But you also know that you're extremely handsome, right?
Of course.
So that's not cool.
I don't. That's why I say my thinking be off sometimes. Cause I like we both know we just friends, right? Like, you know, I'm not trying to pursue you.
Don't pick me up. We married.
Oh
my God.
Okay.
And on that note, y'all, this is actually episode number 7. This is the last episode of the season.
What? I get the last episode.
The last episode.
The grace last episode.
You know, and This conversation has been amazing. Like I say, you can't. I have to go home and then reevaluate my entire existence because, you know, it be like that. It be like that. But I thank you so much, Johnathan.
Thank you for having me.
For your company today.
Thank you.
And y'all, I will see y'all next season. Like, subscribe, and share the channel. Become a part of the Purpose Sisters family. And see you next time. Bye.
Bye.